2003 was a depressing year for all the Hong Kong people, a year that all of us will not forget, because in this year the most incurable disease attacked Hong Kong, which was SARS. SARS stands for Severe Acute Respiratory Syndrome. It is a form of pneumonia. It is under the category of respiratory diseases, and until this day there is no cure for SARS. Isolation is the only way to prevent SARS from spreading. The first case was recorded on November 2002. No one knows what the cause of SARS was up till now, but according to the World Health Organization, Dr. Carlo Urbani identified SARS as a new disease in 2003. He diagnosed it in a 48-year-old businessman and was suspected to have eaten a civet cat that caused the spread of disease. Many people had underestimated the impact of SARS. At the beginning, coughing, fever, running nose, which similar to the typical flu, had tricked many patients. Even the doctors at that time had not much acquaintance to the symptoms.
Hong Kong is the first place in the world who had it. It was in, not the first place, but outbreak. It started in China. Practically at the end of 2002 and early 2003, it started in China. A lot of people died, but we didn't know, well, they didn't know the cause as well. And then when it spread to Hong Kong, we had the cases, very severe cases and serious cases, and then we treated, and later on we give them a name called SARS.
Not until a few people died with this disease, the government began to notice the gravity of this disease and undertook the investigation on the cause of the death. Like a bomb in the city, a flock of residents in a Moy garden got infected one by one in a very short period of time, and the conditions plumbed to the bringing of death just like a flash, which really alarmed all the citizens of the seriousness of this disease. Without any experience of handling such a widespread disease, Hong Kong government seemed to have no hope to deal with the crisis. All the Hong Kong people's hearts were sinking and terrified. By June 2003, the number of new cases was down enough that on June 7th, the WHO stopped its daily reports. But even though the number of new cases decreased and travel advisories began to be lifted, every new case had the potential to spark another outbreak. With the sacrifice of a few doctors and staff in the public hospital, Hong Kong had become a quarantine pod.
During the SARS, it was a very hard time that we went through as a company, as individuals, because our flights were literally empty. We had about 30 passengers, the whole aircraft had, and everything changed after the SARS came, because we had to minimize the crew. We had to a lot of flights were cancelled, a lot of meals were changed, and it was a very tough time. A lot of crew had difficulty. We had to wear masks and we had to wear the gloves. We had to take precautions as we fly around, and then when we used to go to the outports, like different places, people would look at us and wonder whether we carry the sickness. It was a hard time, and I wouldn't want anybody to experience that.
A lot of people, including doctors, the hospitals, the public, everybody was in a panic state because we didn't know what we were dealing with. So uncertainty was the major challenge, and also we didn't know how to treat them. Okay, yeah, but we used medication, we did research, we tried to isolate the virus and all that, and eventually we got it under control. I think the weather helped a lot, when it changes from like the springtime into the summertime, when the virus is actually not as active. That really made a difference.
The outbreak of SARS in Hong Kong had led to many devastating outcomes, which created a huge impact on Hong Kong, such as the health effects and social effects. Stepping up the effort to safeguard Hong Kong from being contaminated by epidemic diseases. Besides the government's effect, every Hong Kong person should maintain their hygienic level on one hand and also build up physical fitness for their oneself. Everybody should work hand in hand to protect Hong Kong from dragging into the mire again. Keep Hong Kong clean and stay healthy and positive.